Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic day yesterday. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make NBA DFS content, NFL content, a whole bunch of other content. All these videos that get posted to a subreddit, I'll have it linked down below as always, where I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day, and you can ask me questions leading up to lock about the slate. And then if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, you can get a hold of me on X right here. I'll have that link down below as well. And if you're looking for more in-depth content, I'll have my Discord link down below too, with like sportsbook plays, all that good stuff. All right, yeah, we can get to my lineups from yesterday, and what do you know? I did not avoid another injury. I just did not avoid it. Just Quentin Jackson. I literally bubbled with an injury. What? 281, what was cash line? 286, I think it was. 285 was cash line. I think I've had 3 days without an injury here. 3 days without an injury. And investigate Derek White. He has been just absolutely horrific this year. But yeah, what can I say? I would just like to not have an injury for one of the slates. I feel like I'm opening these videos every single night saying I had an injury. And I'm still up on the season, which is just wild. I've had 3 days without an injury. Hopefully tonight I won't have an injury as well. But all right, let's go over the slate. We got a 8-gamer here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Yeah, 7, 8. 8-gamer here. Stop cutting off the late games. Tonight would have been such a good slate if we had those 2 late games on it with Jimmy Butler questionable. But no. But let's get into it. All right, Philly, Cleveland, tough spot here. For the Philadelphia side of things, Paul George is going to remain out. Joel Embiid should be out here on a back-to-back too. I would say no must here. We also have Jared McCain. I would expect him to play just because it's his finger, but still remain on a limit, obviously. So yeah, no must here. I've obviously been a fan of Maxey every single slate. I mean, he's playable. I just don't love the spot going up against Cleveland here. I think I'm mainly passing on most of Philadelphia tomorrow. So I'll just, yeah, I don't know. Actually, with Joel Embiid back, I don't mind the bigs going up against Cleveland. Or Jabari Walker. Actually, so I actually take that back. So where is the last game that Joel Embiid's at? Here it is. Jabari Walker played 18 minutes. What else? Trenton Watford has been a solid part of the rotation as well. And then you have Bona Drummond. I wish they were cheaper, but I actually think they're viable. More so like Bari and Watford. I don't mind, actually. But they're not going to be high point per minute guys in this offense. Like on previous teams, they were playing with bums. They're playing with a lot higher usage guys. That's what you have to remember here. But yeah, I don't mind that at all. Going up against Cleveland, they're going to need more size, right? So I take that back. I think there's definitely some interesting options on Philly, mainly the value. More large field tournament plays for me, though. All right, let's go over Cleveland. Good spot here. Going up against Philly, we have Jared Allen questionable, we have Darius Garland questionable, and we have Sam Merrill questionable. This was the rotation they ran last game with that situation. We had Hunter, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, Jalen Tyson, Larry Nance starting, and we saw Lonzo Ball play the most off of the bench with Dean Wade. If we get that same situation again, I mean, I would absolutely love the spot here for Evan Mobley. I would really be into him. Even at 9.1K, still think it's a good price with no Jared Allen, with no Darius Garland. In this spot, he should just be able to dominate. So really be into Mobley. I think Mitchell you can, of course, get to. Great spot for him. DeAndre Hunter's been incredible. I'm not going to say no if you want to go there either. Jalen Tyson's more so priced right for me. And then, of course, Larry Nance would be playable. But he has been very, very underwhelming. But Larry Nance typically is not a terrible point per minute player, and he's going to shoot the ball when he's out there. So I wouldn't mind that. Craig Porter Jr. would be viable in large field tournaments. I'm not going to get to Dean Wade. Now, if we get everybody in here, I would probably just full cross off this team outside of I like the price point on Jared Allen. That's mainly it for me. All right, then we get a game here that I think you're definitely going to want a decent amount of interest in, for sure. So Utah, Detroit, tough spot here for Utah. Walker Kessler is going to remain out. I still think Yusuf Nurkic is a great point per dollar play at 5.3K, but the matchup is really bad going up against Jalen Duren. They've been very, very tough in the paint. He can shoot threes, though, which helps a little bit. But for 30 minutes, you're getting a really good point per minute guy that's going to project decently. So he would probably be my favorite play on this team. We do have Isaiah Collier back. He was actually available but didn't play. I wonder if he's going to be playing in this game. If he does, that's going to hurt Keontae George a little bit. That would make Walter Clayton Jr. completely out of play for me. So we'll just have to wait and see there. And I like Lauri Markkanen. He's just been incredible. He's been absolutely amazing to start the year. Averaging 31 points per game, just wild stuff. I don't mind that. Not like a smash for me, but like a fine. If I have 8.1k remaining and I need to play it forward, I'm perfectly okay with marking him. But yeah, I would say Nurk, probably my favorite play. And Key's been incredible. If you want to go there, that's fine. But I will mention if Collier does play in this game, it'll take a little bit of ball handling away from Keontae. All right, moving on to Detroit. Tobias Harris is out. I love a lot here. First off, Isaiah Stewart started last game. He played a boatload. Would really like him. Ron Holland at 4K would be a good value once again here. And then everyone else gets bumps here. It's like Auzer, I really, really like. Jalen Duren's with Walker Kessler out is in a great spot. Love him. Utah, they typically like to trap lead ball handlers. So probably a good facilitating spot for Cade. They didn't do that versus Boston. I guess because Boston just chucks threes. But I think Cade's great. Like I said, I love Duren. I love Auzer. I think Stewart's a really good value. Duncan you can even get into. Ron Holland I like. So there's definitely a good amount to like here on Detroit for tomorrow. And I think this is another game that we're definitely going to have to get into here, unfortunately. Brooklyn. So, with everyone healthy here, Michael Porter Jr. coming back, I think it's mainly just the top two guys in Cam Thomas and Michael Porter Jr. I like the price point still on Michael Porter Jr. I probably do prefer Michael Porter Jr. to Cam Thomas. That's it. I can't get to anything else here on Brooklyn. Let's go to the Pacers side of things, though. This is just a mess. This team can't catch a break, man. Johnny Furphy out, T.J. McConnell out, Obi Toppin out, Quentin Jackson out, Andrew Nembhard out, Benedict Mathurin out. We have Ray J. Dennis also on the injury report for okay, he's probable. All right, here we go. Great matchup for everybody here. I love Siakam. I played him last slate in my other lineup. Love him. I think Nesmith is great. Jurase at 5.8K is way too cheap. Love him. He's going to have to play over 40 minutes tomorrow. Ray J, really good play at 4.8K. Ben Shepherd's going to have to play an absolute boatload with no Furphy. Don't mind that. And then you're probably going to have to see Peter in the rotation at 3K or Mac McClung. And then they could play more double big. I don't know if they would do that going up against Brooklyn, though. So I think you're just going to see like a really tight rotation here for the main guys. And I think you're going to have to play some of these Pacers tomorrow. They look fantastic. Probably one of the better teams to target on this slate with all the injuries that they're dealing with. So I really don't see how you get away from Pacers tomorrow. I think if I had to pick two favorites, Jurase and Siakam, but don't ignore Nesmith. Nobody's probably going to play Nesmith tomorrow. Moving on to the Washington side of things, we do have Chris Middleton out, I believe, right? That already came. Yeah, he is out. Starters last game, Champagnie, C.J. McCollum, Keyshawn George, Bilal Coulibaly, Alex Sarr, Game Blue out. So, I love Keyshawn George. This is a good spot for basically everyone outside of the guys that score like in the paint. So that's like Keyshawn George a little bit, but he can chuck threes. Sarr can shoot from anywhere. So I don't really have any issues with the spot here. So with that being said, yeah, I like Keyshawn George. I don't think they're adjusting his price point for the role right now. He has the ball in his hands a ton. He's a great rebounder. He has been their highest usage player. Him, Alex Sarr. Sarr might be a more higher usage, but it's pretty close. But both going to stuff the stat sheet. I'm really high on both Keyshawn. I'm really high on Sarr as well. C.J. McCollum's fine. Coulibaly's fine at 5.5K as well. And then Bub, I really like for value, assuming he goes back into the starting lineup. Champagnie's playable. He didn't play as much as people thought he was going to do, and then Cam Whitmore is viable off of the bench. All right, let's move on to the Boston side of things. Normal rotation here. Starters are going to play big minutes. They're only going to play like Simons off the bench, basically. Great spot. Absolutely love this. This price point on Jaylen Brown is way too cheap in this spot. I absolutely love Jaylen Brown. One of my favorite plays on this entire slate. Derek White's just broken. If you want to go to him at low ownership, it's fine. He's a broken man at this point. I will say I would rather play Derek White than Peyton Pritchard. Simons is a playable value. I don't like playing Josh Minott. Keta's in a good spot. Minutes haven't been amazing. Going to play low 20s minutes, but I think you could do worse for value, so I don't mind that, and that's basically it. Hauser's not getting enough run. Same with like Hugo. All right, let's move on to Minnesota. We could have Anthony Edwards back for this game, so we'll keep an eye on that. Dealing with the hamstring injury. If he is out, same thing. It's the same breakdown as always. I like Randall. How about that Rudy Gobert call the other day? Nobody wants to play him. 49, 33 and a half. He's just playing massive minutes right now. Massive minutes. 35, 36 in a competitive game. So nobody wants to keep playing him. And the Knicks defense has not been good this year at all. So like Gobert, like Randall, Dante's playable. They're all priced up. It's mainly just I like the top two guys. Like Mike Conley's priced up. Everyone else is priced up. And then if Ant's in and no limitations, it's always scary playing a guy off a hamstring injury. But if for some reason he is not limited, or he's 100% in full go, which could be doubtful, the price point's just way too cheap. All right, let's move on to New York here. Could have Mitchell Robinson back for this game. It's not really going to impact too much. It would just make Josh Hart mid. But yeah, I think this is more so. I've been trying to hammer which I like out of Cat and Brunson each night. And I think I've got it right every single time. I think given the spot here, I think it's more so Brunson, but both more contrarian plays for me. Mikhail OG, if I'm picking between the two, I think it's Mikhail in this spot, and that's it. There isn't like a ton I'm loving here besides I think the top two guys are good point per dollar plays. All right, let's move on to Houston. Steven Adams and Jabari Smith are both questionable. We got Tari Eason in the starting lineup last game, and we saw 30 minutes for Tari. The main three guys played a ton. We saw 23 minutes for Steven Adams, and then some Josh Okogie off of the bench. So if we get same situation as last game with Adams in, I think Adams is a good point per dollar value at 4.1K. I obviously would love Tari Eason once again. He'd be an amazing point per dollar play on the slate. I love Amen at 7 points. I'm just going to continue to play him. I played him in both my lineups yesterday. I'm going to probably continue to play him here, and I don't think too many people are going to want to click on him tomorrow at that price point. And then Sengun is solid. I haven't even seen who is around here. Yeah, I think I'd prefer Mobley if those Cleveland guys are out, but Siakam to Sengun, I think. And Cade and Jokic. So good spend up, but not my favorite. All right, let's move on to Memphis here. Everyone's out of play for me. I'm not playing anyone. I think that's as best as I can put it with Ja Morant back in a tough spot going up against Houston. And the Ja Morant quotes are just absolutely hilarious the past couple days. Alrighty, let's go to the Pelicans. Please play. Zion and Missy both sat the game tonight. I would expect them to be back because they sat the front end of a back-to-back, so I would assume both are in for tomorrow. So if both are in, yeah, this is a great spot for Zion here at 8.9K. You guys always know I love targeting Daniel Gafford, so I don't mind Missy here at 4.9K. It's just the minutes aren't amazing, and I think everyone else is more so priced correctly. I probably wouldn't be too excited about the value here. Herb Jones is fine. But I wouldn't get to much else. And then for some reason they do set, which I doubt it. And then we know what to do. Fears, Poole, Murph, Kevon Looney. Karla Makovich is actually in the game right now over Derek Queen, which I find interesting. All right, moving on to Dallas. Same situation as last game going to be here. I would imagine Daniel Gafford is going to remain on a limit. He did play 24 minutes. They said they were going to limit him to 15 to 18 minutes, but he did get to 24 last game, so they're just lying for no reason. He also took a trip to the locker room, which lost him some minutes. So if we're going to get similar minutes in this spot going up to the Pels, I actually like Gafford for value. What else here? P.J. Washington's going to play close to 40 minutes. Cooper Flagg's going to play close to 40 minutes. I really like both. Good point per dollar plays here. I'm not going to play Klay Thompson. Najee Marshall should see low 20s minutes off of the bench. He is playable for value if you need like a low-owned option. It's okay, not my favorite. And then D'Lo playing a ton, but the price point is a bit rich for my blood. All right, Miami. Looks like they're back to full strength outside of Tyler Herro. They benched Khalil Ware off the bench. He did have a good game off the bench. And then Pele Larson started. I'm not excited about him. Bam's in a good spot. I think he's probably my favorite play. I think that's mainly it with everyone priced up. All right, Jamal, probable. Love Jokic, of course. Why is Jamal not over 8K at this point? Why is he not over 8K? It's just ridiculous. So he's way too cheap. Amazing play to me. Cam Johnson you can get to at that price, but it's mainly just the top two guys for me. All right, guys, that's going to do it for the slate. Hope you guys had a great night, and I will talk to you on the next video.